So Dogecoin is at a make or break position right now. And in this video, I'm going to talk about where we are headed from here. So we can see here that Dogecoin is still trading on the low side after the recent crypto market crash. And although there are some chances of more volatility in the coming days, it is highly likely that Dogecoin is going to move up in the near future. This is because it appears that Dogecoin has hit the bottom now and it will not go down from here. And as I mentioned in my previous video, after breaching through the current support level, Dogecoin's price has set a swing low, signaling a typical bottoming structure. And this is exactly why I'm expecting Dogecoin to recover its recent losses. Moreover, there is more evidence that Dogecoin is going to recover in the near future. For example, we know that inflation in the U.S. is very high. In fact, it is highly likely that it is going to rise throughout this year. And we are now seeing that a number of analysts and economists are predicting that the U.S. will face further economic issues. This is because the politicians and the Biden administration are now blaming corporations. And it is highly likely that this blame game is only going to worsen the situation here. So the point here is that if we see more rise in inflation, then investors are highly likely to come to cryptos like Dogecoin and Bitcoin. Moreover, a key thing to watch for Dogecoin and others will be the U.S. inflation data coming ahead this week. The upcoming CPI data will ultimately decide whether the Fed will turn more aggressive into quantitative tightening. And this will ultimately decide the liquidity in the market, eventually driving further the crypto prices. And we know that the Fed's hawkish stand has been one of the key reasons why Dogecoin and other cryptos dropped 15 to 20% last week. And now, if the upcoming CPI data turns out to be lower than expected, it is highly likely that cryptos like Dogecoin and Bitcoin can move up. And now, if we come to Bitcoin, we know that January hasn't been good for it so far. However, things are looking more promising for Bitcoin in the month of February. This is because history is suggesting that Bitcoin can go for a bullish move during February. Bitcoin formed a death cross back in March 2020 and July 2021, just like it did last week. And these previous death crosses were successfully nullified by Bitcoin at that time. So it is now highly likely that Bitcoin is going to nullify this new death cross, and it will come out of this bearish phase to initiate a bullish move. And if Bitcoin manages to perform bullishly in the upcoming month, then it is highly likely that Dogecoin will do the same. This is because we know that Dogecoin's price correlation with Bitcoin is pretty high right now. And this is yet another bullish indicator for Dogecoin amid this recent price dip. And since Dogecoin has the highest price correlation with Bitcoin compared to other cryptos, I'm very positive for Dogecoin. And some more evidence for a bullish outlook for Dogecoin is that crypto adoption hasn't slowed even during the recent market crash. In fact, it is expected to grow rapidly in the near future. And as per the CEO of financial advisory and asset management firm Devere Group, 3 more countries will adopt Bitcoin as legal tender this year. He believes that low-income countries have long suffered because their currencies are weak and extremely vulnerable to market changes. And in order to counter these issues, they will adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. So if this happens, we will be seeing a major boost for the overall crypto market. And Bitcoin's adoption will also pave the way for other cryptos, especially Dogecoin, to be adopted as a legal tender. And as per another report, Kenya is going to scale up crypto adoption in the country during this year. And Marius Rates, the general manager of crypto exchange Luno, believes that Kenya's crypto industry is booming with a rapidly emerging crop of companies building crypto and blockchain-based solutions. And considering its young population and familiarity with digital payment solutions, he has predicted that Kenya is firmly positioned to emerge as East Africa's leading crypto hub in 2022. So this is yet another development that is highlighting the fact that more and more countries and firms are now adopting cryptos. And another example of rising crypto adoption is that even banks are now getting exposure to this emerging market. And just recently, German neobank N26 has revealed that they are now ready to launch crypto trading services this year. Once the services are launched, neobank's Europe-based users will be able to trade cryptos through its mobile app. So the point is that this development will not only give crypto exposure to millions of users, it will also make it easier for newcomers to be part of the crypto community. And this is exactly why I think that this is going to be a massive development for the global crypto sector. And the best thing is that we are now seeing that even major banks are now adopting cryptos and providing crypto-related services to their customers. For example, Commonwealth Bank, the biggest bank in Australia, has revealed that it will be the first in the country to allow customers to buy, sell, and hold crypto assets. Similarly, a group of savings banks in Germany is working on a trading network that would allow 50 million customers to buy and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other crypto assets. So these are one of the biggest developments for the crypto space. And as I said, millions of users will be able to get on board owing to the rise in the adoption of cryptos by major banks. So the point is that despite the recent market crash and volatility in the market, crypto adoption is still rising dramatically. In fact, it will fuel in the coming years as more and more people and firms are realizing the worth of cryptos like Dogecoin and Bitcoin. And I think this is exactly what the market needs, and this is exactly what is required to give stability to the prices of cryptos. All in all, my overall outlook for Dogecoin and other cryptos is still very bullish. And now let's come to Bitcoin's price for a minute. So we are now seeing that Bitcoin is still under immense market pressure, and it hasn't shown any signs of recovery in the last 24 hours. However, I still think that holders should not be worried at all. And we can see here that analyst Kelly Kellum is saying that this recent price crash for Bitcoin and other cryptos is a short-term thing, and a major breakout is imminent for cryptos after it. And he believes that this is the ideal opportunity for investors to invest in cryptos by buying the dips. And he is indicating that the extreme fear sentiment in the market means that investors should be greedy and accumulate as many coins as they can. And then crypto holders should exercise some patience and wait for long-term gains. And as I said in my previous video, crypto whales are still buying Bitcoin during this crash. And this means that they are pretty bullish about it, and they believe that Bitcoin is going to move up from here. And another important thing for Bitcoin is that it is repeating the pattern that it made in July when it went for a massive uptrend. We know that Bitcoin formed a fracture lined up confluence with Fibonacci extension wave 2 and 4 on the weekly time frame and the macro 0.272 Fibonacci level back in July. And when it did this, we saw Bitcoin take off and it surged massively. And now, we are seeing that Bitcoin is pretty close to forming this pattern yet again. So this is yet another bullish indicator that is indicating that there is nothing to be worried about this price crash for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is poised to go up in the near future. And another positive thing happening for Bitcoin is that its mining difficulty rate has reached a 7-month high recently. And this is very bullish for it. This is because we know that the higher the mining difficulty, the higher the price of Bitcoin. Moreover, we already know that the hash rate of Bitcoin is also rising. So collectively, these things are going to leave positive impacts on Bitcoin's price in the long term. And another positive update is that Maria Munoz, a Spanish deputy from the country's Congress, wants to position its country as a reliable alternative to miners. He recently stated that those miners who are facing a dire situation in Kazakhstan after their internet service was suspended can come to Spain to continue their operations. He also sent a letter to the Congress inquiring about the possible actions that Spain might take to attract fleeing miners. So it is now highly likely that Spain is going to welcome Bitcoin miners from Kazakhstan, and this is very good for Bitcoin and the overall crypto market. So we have just seen how there are many positive updates for Bitcoin. And now I know that you will be thinking about why Bitcoin is not moving up despite all these positive things. So the thing is that all these positive things don't mean that Bitcoin is going to move up right away. I think that it is going to be stuck in this range for some time now. And as I said earlier, we may see Bitcoin performing better during February. So I think this whole month of January is going to be bearish for it. And again, I'd like to remind all of you to exercise some patience and don't panic here. And as we have seen how crypto adoption hasn't been affected by this crash for Dogecoin, and how Bitcoin is having a bullish outlook in the long run, I think Dogecoin will also perform better in the long term. And just like Bitcoin, I think that Dogecoin holders should also don't panic here. This is because this is not the end for Dogecoin. And Dogecoin is not going to zero from here. Things will get better for it. All we have to do is to exercise some patience here.